Hello guys, as requested I'm making a video on Striker PVE, Striker Succession PVE combos. So before we go into actual combos, I would like just to discuss some of the things that I noticed when playing Striker. So the first thing would be that in PVE it's better to have higher accuracy and just run DR. So if you're a new player, a new striker, and you're struggling to decide what to get, I would highly recommend you go for bag gloves. Uragons should be a second. If you cannot afford them, of course, get Muskans. But otherwise, like for high end game spots, for example, Hysteria, Sicaria, Archman, and Stars End, I highly recommend both Uragons and bag gloves. The accuracy on Striker Succession is extremely important. It will greatly increase your damage. I've tried it now in Sicaria. I was running Libor gloves plus Muskan shoes, so I was running roughly 24 less accuracy on that build, and as soon as I changed it, my damage, my gains per hour went up quite a lot. So I would highly recommend, first thing for PvE, get bag gloves, get DR build, and even when you get past the point that you don't need damage reduction for PvP, just keep those gloves, keep the boots just for PvEing. So the next thing that's really important before we get into combos is skill add-ons. There are a few skill add-ons that I highly recommend when doing PvE, and the first one and the one that I actually recommend the most is Absolute Stalking Wolf. Attack against monsters 25 for 8 seconds and critical rate 20% for 9 seconds. Both of those are extremely good in PvE, increasing your damage by a lot, especially that 20% critical chance, because most of your damage in Succession comes from your discharges, which happen on Roaring Tiger. The big ones are Roaring Tiger, on Final Blow, where is it? Ankle Hook, Martial Diva, and Savage Fang. And apart from, three of them don't have critical rate. Only the ones on Ankle Hook and Martial Diva have 100% critical rate. But Savage Fang, Final Blow, and Roaring Target do not have any critical rate, so that 20% critical rate added up with all the other buffs that you can get for critical rate, your passive, the one from Crimson Fang, Bloody Fang, and from your 5 points into critical chance will add up for roughly 50%, and that means a lot more damage, especially if you're using Frenzied Rod or Beast Rod in PvE that actually increases damage, your special attack damage. This is a really good skill, really good thing to have, add-on to have. The same add-on for me for critical hit is also on Skull Crusher, plus evasion that actually helps me survive longer. Then another one that I really like to use is all accuracy on Rampaging Predator. This is 5% for 12 seconds, and Rampaging Predator has 8 seconds cooldown, so if used correctly, you can pretty much hold your accuracy buff up 24/7. I also have damage against monsters on my Roaring Tiger in case I don't use my Stalking Wolf. And rest of the add-ons are not so much for PvE. All evasion accuracy on Rage Hammer, and I have attack speed and critical hit rate on my Explosive Blow. This is just in case if I didn't use my buffs from Stalking Wolf or Skull Crusher, I just in case get that 10%, so my explosion on Final Blow, and usually I follow it with a Roaring Tiger, would deal a bit more damage. So your main damage in PVE in succession comes from so-called discharges. You have big and small discharges. Big discharges are on the skills that I mentioned before, on Roaring Tiger, Angle Hook, Deva King, Savage Fang, and on Final Blow. You also have one on Bombardment. I missed that one before, sorry. This one doesn't have any critical chance as well. So your main goal is in PvE to cast as many of those skills as possible in nice flow. So you don't actually have big combos that you can use all the time, because most of the time monsters will die before you do a long combo like you would do in PvP, for example. So what I usually do is I'll have like small combos that I combine together to form bigger ones if needed. So depending on situation, I make my combo bigger or I make it smaller. Just depends where you farm and how much damage you can actually deal on because of your gear. So your main combos are absolute adamantine, adamantine, just prime adamantine combo. Adamantine combo goes into angle hook. You can cancel the combo, or you can flow from angle hook into Savage Fang, or you can go into Martial Diva and then into Savage Fang. For example, first part, so Adamantine ankle hook into Savage Fang, and if I do it with Martial Diva, same thing, except after ankle hook I hold right click to do Martial Diva, and then I hold left click to do Savage Fang. So this is 4 discharges, a small discharge on Adamantine, then 3 big discharges. The problem with this combo is that Savage Fang will probably not hit strong because it doesn't have any critical chance. So all those 3 skills are quite strong. You have 100% chance to crit on Adamantine, and you discharge it, then you do Ankle Hook and Martial Diva, which discharges have 100% chance to crit, and Martial Diva has 60% chance to crit. So Ankle Hook base damage kind of goes away, but that's just like 957 times 3, so it's not that big of a deal. So I would use just this basing combo if I don't buff myself with crit chance with add-ons. But if I buff myself, I would go with the whole combo, so taking my Savage Fang at the end as well. The second combo is of course Crimson Fang combo. This is a basic combo as well. You can do it 2 basic ways plus some more mixed up ways, combining with Hurricane and some kick that is actually not on any skills. I don't really know what that kick is, but it's there. You can use it if you want to, but I feel it's kind of a waste of time if you use it because it doesn't deal much damage. Otherwise, if you take combo Hurricane, it deals some damage, but again, it's a kind of slow skill, so I don't have it. So I do 2 main parts of Crimson Fang combo. The first one goes Crimson Fang into Explosive Blow, Venom Fang, Final Blow. The second one is Crimson Fang, Bombardment, Venom Fang, and Final Blow. You can also add Death Strike if you hold right mouse button a bit longer after Crimson Fang, and that's what I usually do, because although the damage is not that great on Death Strike, it gives your enemy DP minus 20, which is the best DP debuff that you have on Striker. So Crimson Fang, Death Strike, Explosive Blow, Venom Fang into Final Blow. Sorry, this was the wrong one. Used Bombardment by mistake. This is the basic one, and the only difference if you use Bombardment is instead of clicking left click right after Death Strike, you hold down right click a bit longer and you will go skip Explosive Blow and go into Venom Fang and then Final Blow. So if I do the first one again, see, I just press shift right click then left click, and if I go with Bombardment, hold, and you saw as I did it till the end again. The only problem I see here is sometimes you will kind of hold right mouse button too long or too short and you will not do the discharge. It was kind of changed in a few patches back, and sometimes when you buff yourself for attack speed with your crouching wolf and your rage or your e-buff, you kind of miss this timing. So most of the time I've kind of preferred to use explosive blow. It also has knockdown, so it's a longer CC than bound from bombardment. The third nice damage thing is Hidden Claw and Savage Fang. So basic use is Hidden Claw like this, and then hold left mouse button for Savage Fang. You can also flow Savage Fang, Hidden Claw from using certain skills before it. One of those skills is Knee Hammer. As you can see, it casted Hidden Claw, and it casts it a bit differently. It doesn't have iframe if you use it like this. So this is an iframe, and if you use it with Knee Hammer, it's not an iframe. You can also use it with Rampaging Predator. Then if you just hold left click at the end, you will do Savage Fang. So like this, for example, Savage Fang at the end. So this is also good because if you use with add-on Rampaging Predator at the start, you get 5% accuracy, because Savage Fang doesn't have really any accuracy on it. So all the percentages that you can get makes this skill extremely strong. It's 10 times 1266 damage. So if you can crit it and if you can buff your accuracy up, it's extremely strong skill. It sometimes can also one-shot players. If you just make them air, you can float them and make air attack, air critical with this skill. It's extremely strong as long as you hit. This is where that accuracy from back gloves comes in. Okay, next up I would talk about kind of chaining. Oh right, the last thing that kind of gives you damage is Roaring Tiger. This is like your fourth thing apart from those three. That gives you damage. Roaring Tiger is extremely strong skill, but again, it doesn't have any critical chance, so you kind of tend to buff yourself before you use it, at least for critical chance, since it has quite high accuracy for striker skills. 12% is one of the top accuracy bonuses that we get at strikers. So I would usually use a skill before that buffs my critical chance, and I usually use it at the end of the combo. So you do, for example, Crimson Fang combo, and then just hold both mouse buttons at the end to do Roaring Tiger. You can do the same thing with Adamantine combo, just hold both mouse buttons at the end and you will do Roaring Tiger. Same goes with this skill, for example. Roaring Tiger flows really well if you do it at the end of combo, but keep in mind, if you do it, not many skills flow nicely out of Roaring Tiger. You kind of stand there for a moment. You cannot kind of cancel out, sadly. So keep that in mind. So now let's talk about chaining attacks. You have different skills that kind of flow nicely into your combos, especially Crimson Fang combo. So the first skill like that would probably be Mass Destruction. So Mass Destruction is a kind of interesting skill, makes you cancel it. You can use it to cancel most of the skills that you use, and it can be used by holding right mouse button to do 3 attacks, or you can hold it less to do 2, or to do 1, or to do 0 attacks. So if you do 0 attacks, you can really nicely flow into Crimson Fang. This gives you really nice combo options because you can use Mass Destruction to cancel most of your attacks. Oops, I did bad cancel there. For example, like this. Or... oh, this is a different one. Just have to find one nice one. For this, for example, with Perfect Blow, it's really nice. I usually use this for cancelling, or flowing rather than cancelling, from my Stalking Wolf. I usually open up a combo in PVE with Stalking Wolf, and then jump behind my enemy like this, with Mass Destruction, and start attacking. This has multiple benefits, especially because Stalking Wolf already buffs me for PVE critical damage, I mean critical chance, and damage against monsters. Then when I go behind my enemy, I will get back attack. And Crimson Fang will buff me again for accuracy rate. It will give me 5% critical chance. So total now buffs are 25% critical chance rate and 6% accuracy. Then if I just keep hitting and do my Death Strike, I will debuff my enemy for 20 DP. And then I follow up with the rest of the combo. So this is one of the like nice flows that you can do. Another flow is from Knee Hammer. So you can do Knee Hammer first and go into Crimson Fang. You can do Rage Hammer. You can do Rock Smash that I already did before. You can do also Deva King, so I can do my whole Adamantine combo without popping Savage Fang at the end. So Adamantine, Ankle Hook, Martial Diva, and from Martial Diva I can flow really nicely into Crimson Fang. I do that just by holding right mouse button to do Martial Diva, then pressing Shift and holding it, keep holding right mouse button to just flow into Crimson Fang. Another thing that's quite important is that Fist Fury can flow out of your Crimson Fang rather from your Death Strike. So if you do Death Strike, then press backwards and right mouse button, you will do just the last 2 hits of Fist Fury. Like this. Let me show you again. This is important because the last 2 hits of Fist Fury are actually the bread and butter of the skill. The 3rd hit gives floating to your enemies, and the last hit has more damage. So you actually deal 8 times 1400 damage, but the last hit is also air attack. So 1400 times 5, you will hit air attack. If I show on this dummy, this last hit was air attack. Oh, I have my thing is disabled. Where show height? Let me show again. Confirm. So it's bugged. Let me try this one. You can see this was air attack at the end. Again, it has no critical, so you kind of, if you want to do this combo, want to buff yourself up. And this is the good part about Crimson Fang at the start, because it gives you 5% critical chance. So if I combine this, for example, with the previous combo that I showed you, this will probably critical air attack a lot. And this is a combo that I usually used at Akman when I farmed there, just to jump behind them, stiffen them. Oh wait, you don't stiffen them, sorry. Just to jump behind them and there go quickly into air attack with Fist Fury. Just to get air attack critical, it deals really nice damage. Then you can also combine this, like the part where I said about Knee Hammer and... Wait, did I mention... Oh, no, I didn't mention Hidden Claw yet. You can also flow from Hidden Claw. If you do Hidden Claw flow, so actually Hidden Claw from Knee Hammer or, for example, from Rampaging Predator, you can also flow into Crimson Fang, for example, like this. So this also means that you can go Rampaging Predator, flow into Hidden Claw, flow into Crimson Fang. This works as well. So you can maybe do combo like this. Jump to your enemy with jump to your enemy like this, jump behind them, and then do the same combo. This will do air attacks as well. So we can go Stalking Wolf, Mass Destruction, then we go Rampaging Predator, just to hit my enemy from behind with critical. And then I flow into Hidden Claw, Crimson Fang, and last 2 hits of Fist Fury. Let's try this. That works as well. It will probably put your enemies twice in the air in Arkham. These dummies seem to be bugged a little bit, but still. This is one of the nice combos that you can do. I usually used it in front of my enemies, so I would go with my Rampaging Predator from front. Kind of missed Fist Fury there. Try again. I would do it in front just because it was enough damage to kill my enemies, just like that in Arkham. When it comes to Adamantine, you don't have that many cancels. I usually use it after I use Crouching Wolf or Backstab. So if I have my enemies around me, like the dummies are here around me, I kind of want to get to this position. So all the enemies are in a cone in front of me, because there is where the most of my damage comes from discharges, which are in a cone in front of me. And the best positioning you can do is just get in front of your enemies or behind your enemies like this, just as long as all of your enemies are in a cone in front of you. So this is where your Crouching Wolf comes in. You press Crouching Wolf and then press backwards and you will teleport. Do like simple backstab. And after that, you can really nicely flow into Adamantine and do a combo from there. Same thing works with your backstab. This is Rablam skill. Flows really nicely as well, like this. Enemies around you, you jump behind them and start attacking. Oh, if you hit with Adamantine, you can also flow into Crimson Fang as well. I forgot to mention that one, though I would not recommend using that one, just because you kind of lose the whole combo of Adamantine if you do it. Okay, so the goal when doing combos is pretty much rotating your skills in a way that you do as much discharges as possible and still maintain your buffs. Your main buffs that you want to maintain are accuracy, critical chance, and attack against monsters. If you can keep those three up all the time, you're good to go. Another one that would be extremely useful is Martial Shard Absorb. So once you get 3 shards, absorb them by pressing Crouching Wolf, just so you get that 20% attack speed for 10 seconds. If you use it again, while you still have Crouching Wolf, you will get just 10%. Keep in mind, 20% only comes when you absorb 3 charges and you have it for 20 seconds. So it's worth absorbing the charges if you have them. So, for example, a combo that you could do is we can jump first with, to buff ourselves, we jump with Stalking Wolf, go behind our enemies, do Crimson Fang combo, and end it with Discharge on Roaring Tiger. So this could be the first part of our combo, or just like one part that we can make longer. This entire combo is buffed by critical chance, buffed by accuracy, and buffed with damage against monsters. And after that, we can follow up a combo, for example, with Rampaging Predator into Hidden Claw. Probably Roaring Tiger will not be on cooldown, off of cooldown yet, so we will do something else after this part. So if I do both parts again. Kind of switched to target there, but still, same thing. You could also, instead of those discharges, you could do Fist Fury if you want. You can replace the skills as you want. And after that, I would probably go into Adamantine combo. So basic Adamantine combo, since Savage Fang will be on cooldown because I did it after Rampaging Predator into Hidden Claw into Savage Fang. So Savage Fang will be on cooldown, so I will just do 3 skills from my Adamantine combo. So Adamantine, Ankle Hook, Martial Diva, and probably after that my Roaring Tiger will already be on cooldown. So if I do an entire combo again, Yeah, as I thought, my Roaring Tiger was already on cooldown. So these were actually 3 combos that I combined into a longer combo, but usually that will not be needed because monsters die really fast. Also, those combos will refill your shards. We can also check if my add-ons keep especially critical chance if it stays till the end. So let's do it and just keep watching if this critical chance lasts until the end of my combo. Yep, it lasted until the end, and the second one disappeared a few seconds later. Let's try again. Yeah, Roaring Tiger just hits it as it hits 0 seconds. Keep in mind that these are all slow versions, because once you absorb and once you use your martial shards, you're gonna be a lot faster. So if I try to do the whole combo again by absorbing to get more attack speed, 30%, 25 attack speed, and 20 attack speed from this, once I press Crouching Wolf, I'm gonna do the whole combo. And as you see, I just missed my Roaring Tiger as it was on cooldown. Sorry. So when this happens, I would usually use a different skill. For example, I would use my Somersault. The thing with Somersault is I usually just use the first part because the second part deals too low damage for the length it takes, for the time it takes. Similar to Q jumps. So if you use your Q jump block, how is it called again? Twisted Collision. It takes a really long time to cast those skills, and they deal really low damage. Only usable way is for this jump or to use it for your Skull Crusher. But it's mostly used in PvP. It's not really worth using in PvE. So I would just use it like in PvE to get behind my enemies. For example, if they're standing in front of me, I would Q jump into F. I forgot how it's called. Nimbus something. Nimbus Strike. So I would just use Q jump Nimbus Strike to get behind my enemies. For example, if I'm fighting Eltons and I don't have any other option, though always you can just dash behind them, which is always better. You can also always dash and like kind of turn your camera around like this just to instantly attack from behind. So this would be like 3 combo parts that you can combine together. Like you can combine them differently to make your own combos. But if you want more combos, like pre-made combos, I would highly suggest you check out Strike Discord. I'm gonna put a link in the video description. You can check the combos there. You can ask for more combos if you want. There are quite a lot pre-made combos, but I usually don't use them in PvE. I kind of use those 3 and combine them differently depending on situation. The last thing that I want to touch in this video is moving around, because moving around in PvE is one of the key components to get as much trash as possible. Keep in mind, it's always better to leave behind those 1 or 2 mobs that are almost dead and just pull them to the next group that you're fighting, or just ignore them, because those skills that you're going to use killing them are going to be on cooldown, but you can use them on multiple enemies in the next group and get more trash. So keep in mind, if you want to min-max your trash loot, don't bother with that 1 or 2 remaining enemies that stand on low HP and are gonna take some time to kill, like to do just some skills. Just go further, go to the next pack and start attacking that one. 2 more skills that help you in gathering your mobs are Crouching Wolf, which pulls your enemies when they're not bugged. Let me try again here. See, it pulls your enemies and turns them away from you, which means that you will be able to do back attacks and you can back attack stun them. if they don't run away like this guy does. Usually they don't reset right away in PVE, so I mean, in the world out there, just these monsters, these dummies, they run back ASAP. And the second skill that does this is Rage Hammer. It also pulls enemies closer to you. If you use both of them, you're gonna pull enemies really close to you. I recommend using it like this. So you kind of pull all the mobs, then jump backwards as I did, and use what I mentioned before, Adamantine, to start a combo. The idea is to pull enemies in front or on a group, and then just get on one side of them, so you have all the enemies in a cone in front of you. Like this. Start attacking. Then pull that one really nicely. Let me try again. This guy's gonna get up. Gonna wait a little bit. And now he's bugged really nicely. But you get the point, what I mean. Okay, when it comes to movement, you've got 4 skills that are used for movement. First one is Rampaging Predator for short distances. Then you've got Triple Dash, your normal dash as well, though I don't recommend just using one dash. It's better to always use Stalking Wolf, which has really nice distance. You can extend that distance, or if you want to buff your damage, not damage, DP and evasion, you can also use Knee Hammer into Hidden Claw, and then use Stalking Wolf. So as you see, I got myself buffed before I went to the back. And the last skill that I really like to use is Succession version of Wolf's Hunger. It's pretty trash if you use it just on itself, but if you use either your dash, so your flash stab, where is flash stab? Your flash stab, if you use Knee Hammer, or if you use Rampaging Predator, it gets bigger range and it gets faster cast. And the good part is, as I just did, you can cancel the hits with Mass Destruction. So really good way to use it like this would be like this. And you can extend that again by doing Knee Hammer into Stalking Wolf. So for example, if I try to get to that last pack right there, from here I do Triple Dash into Knee Hammer into Wolf's Hunger, cancel it with Mass Destruction, then do another Knee Hammer into Crouching Wolf, Stalking Wolf, sorry. 1, 2, 3. And I can move really fast like this, from one pack to another. You don't have to use all 3 skills, those were all 3 skills, or all 3 combos, if we call them that, combined, but you can use just one by one whenever you want. Also, as you dash, it's also recommended to use Fist of True Strength, if you just dash, so you get that 30% bonus on movement speed, 30 from dash and 30 for a few seconds from your Fist of True Strength. This is this skill right here. So that would pretty much be it when it comes to combos. If you wanna see more combos, if you are kind of interested to know more, feel free to contact me on my Discord. I'm gonna put a link in description of this video. And like I said, if you want to see some pre-made combos that most of the people use, you can check Discord for strikers. Gonna put a link to that in description as well. And that would be pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoy Striker Succession, and I wish you best of luck getting those good items, good drops. Have fun and goodbye.